The Peak District is full of surprises. Some of those are scenic, some of those are historic, and some of those, frankly, include a bit of ham and Stilton. Who knew? One of the great things, though, about the Peak District is just the huge amount of stunning roads that you can just stumble upon by accident if only you don't go looking. And to an extent, that is what today's video is going to be all about, because I'm heading out there intentionally with no set route in mind, just a few key destinations that I want to try and call at along the way. So let's get out on the bike and see what we can find out. Coming up in today's video, I inadvertently upset the people of Staffordshire by having an oatcake. Apparently there is some kind of big Staffordshire versus Derbyshire oatcake war that I never knew about. I reminisce about a school trip in a cemetery. Maybe I didn't pay sufficient attention in class because I can't actually remember what it was all about. And I discover one of the very best views in the whole of the Peak District. This is what I've come to see. It's already looking pretty spectacular from here. So, hello everybody. You join me as I'm just setting off from Leek. So Leek is just on the outskirts of the Peak District in Staffordshire. But right now I am making my way actually for a spot of lunch. So I haven't got the day entirely mapped out. I've got some places in mind, and we'll see how far along we get to. And this is one of the things that I love. When you suddenly come out of like the vast wilderness almost, and then you come into a section with trees and you just get the sunlight coming through the trees. And you can smell the trees as well. Well, I mean, obviously I can, you guys can't. Again, it's just one of those places that just really like packed in the middle of nowhere, and you can just kind of see the typical architecture with the stone wall properties, and then yeah, you arrive in this little bit here where you've got a crossroads, and it's just a really picturesque, quaint little town. Yeah, so then that's it. And then you're back out into the Nationals again. But then you're rewarded with this magnificent view over the side, and you know you've got a drop the side of that wall, but then just beyond it, wow, look at that. Everything was going well until I encountered the one thing that happens all too often, an unexpected road closure, leaving me with a decision to make. Alright, so which way? Left, right? Maybe right? Should we see what happens if we go right? To be fair, I probably could have tried just going through that. So we'll see if I actually get rerouted. I'm getting rerouted. Which way am I going to get rerouted down? To be fair, this is what the Peak District is all about. Just exploring these random roads. And now we are entering into the beautiful and incredibly popular village of Money Ash. And Money Ash contains the third most popular biker cafe in England. And wow, actually you can just see it here. I'm like, oh, you know what, maybe I'm going to stop here. Let's stop here. Yeah, change of plan. Feels a little bit rude to ignore all these bikers. So let's stop. I will see you in a little while. Well, I have just had an absolutely fantastic lunch. I have just tried for the very first time a Derbyshire oatcake as opposed to a Staffordshire oatcake. Apparently there is some kind of big Staffordshire versus Derbyshire oatcake war that I never knew about. So I can highly recommend that if you come to the Old Smithy, and many of you do, by the way, because it's one of the most popular biker cafes in the whole of the country. Very, very good location, and very glad that I stopped here. And I think I'm going to get back on the bike shortly and see where else we can find today. So, after a divine, if not controversial lunch, I was back out on the bike, and it wasn't long before something unusual caught my eye. I feel like I'm in some kind of Roman Empire period, like set of ruins. I don't know. They've done a very good job of compartmentalising these fields. Very efficient, and I do value efficiency. Okay, so frankly, I have no idea where this is now taking us. Let's just go and find out. Of course, one of the features of the Peak District, the majority of the A roads, the main trunk roads, are 50 mile an hour. Yet, even despite the 50 mile an hour speed limits, a lot of the trunk roads through the Peak District are actually quite nice. But turn off them in almost any direction and you'll find yourself back on national speed limit roads. Every now and again being forced to slow for a village that appears like time stopped still in the 1970s, like this one. Oh, that looks like a nice place. Red Lion over there. Just another one of the very quaint little villages. It's like stepping back in time. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Just everything is very relaxed, very chilled. The whole place and the roads feel like you should take your time to enjoy them. Wow, and then you come out there and then it just opens up this magnificent view. So now we really are stepping back in time. We are now just entering into the village of Ep3. Now before I say it, who's going to know what Ep3 is all about? If you know, drop a comment below. Oh, should I have gone that way? I don't know, maybe I should have gone that way. Oh no, we'll take a left here, this is fine. I'm going to pull over here. Right, I'm going to get off the bike and let's have a little wander around. Hello again, I'm off the bike now and I am out, believe it or not, I am in a cemetery. And you might be wondering what on earth I am doing here. That would be a very valid question. You might also be wondering what on earth this has got to do with bikes. That would also be a very valid question. Truth be told, nothing at all to do with bikes, not a damn thing. Why I'm here? Well, frankly, I just thought it would be an interesting place to call in at. I actually came here many, many years ago on a school trip and learned all about the plague because this is a plague village. I think there's probably a little bit more to it than that, but maybe I didn't pay sufficient attention in class because I can't actually remember what it was all about. But what I do know is that if you wander around here and have a look at some of the cottages, you'll see that many of them have got these plaques on the outside which explain who lived there and who died and who survived and that kind of thing, so that's very, very nice. If you ever sing the nursery rhyme Ring a Ring a Roses to your kids, then you might be interested to know that that was also about the plague. I don't know if that changes anything for you or not, but it's an interesting fact all the same. Anyway, that's it. There's quite a bit that you can have a wander around and look at here. There's a little museum, and as I say, there's all the little cottages that you can even buy some merch if plague-related merch is the kind of thing that you're into. That's about all I want to take a look at here right now, so I'm going to get back on the bike and continue my exploration of the Peak District, so I'll see you back on there shortly. Right, I am back on the bike, and it is time to get moving. So we're still in the little picturesque village of Eyam. If you can see this, looks like some kind of prehistoric, or maybe not prehistoric, but some kind of medieval barbecue system. So from here I thought it would be a nice little trip to go and see what are the most spectacular views that you might find in the Peak District. At least that's what I'm hoping it's going to be. I haven't actually been there before. I've been past it before. This is the first time I'm going to go and check it out. So let's go there and see if it is as nice as Google Maps and my research would make it out to be. Okay, now I do have a question for you, actually, relating to cyclists. Now I know many people dislike cyclists. I know they get in the way. I know they slow us all down. But there are some people that go past cyclists cycling their legs as though they were on a bicycle rather than a motorcycle. This is done in derisory fashion to mock them for their lack of propulsion. And what do you think about that? Do you think that's okay? Do you think that's just harmless fun? Do you think that is crossing a line? I have to be honest, I feel that's a little bit unnecessary. I would borderline say it's a little bit disrespectful. Now, you only have to look at me to tell that I'm not an avid cyclist. But, you know, each to their own. So for me, it's not necessary. But what do you think? Maybe you think I'm wrong with that. I'm sure there are plenty of people that will have a charged opinion one way or another. And whilst pondering the moral implications of mocking cyclists, I continue to explore interesting looking random roads that were vaguely headed in the direction I was aiming towards, with varying degrees of success. Okay, I think I've actually just taken a more interesting shortcut. Yes, I have. Because now we're on the road to our destination. And here we are coming in to the Montlehead Viaduct. This is what I've come to see. It's already looking pretty spectacular from here. That'll do. And so, after a day of exploration filled with interesting oatcakes, deadly diseases and random roads, the best was definitely saved for last. The view of the Montlehead Viaduct is simply breathtaking and an absolute must visit if you're planning a trip to the Peak District. And, to help savour the moment even more, you can do what I did and treat yourself to a delightful San Pellegrino limonata while admiring the view. That's all for this video, and if you found any of this useful or entertaining, then hit the like button below and consider subscribing for more interesting nonsense as I share with you the very best from my travels in the UK and beyond. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.